So with both of the camps, one of which has moved down the street, we see an urgent need. Again, there are, I understand, dozens of other camps in the River Valley, just as there have always been. The challenge has just become much more visible because the homeless community has gotten organized and chosen to make visible their demands, which we agree with, that housing is the solution to this challenge, and that's why projects like this are important, why the $1 billion federal announcement, which we're working quickly to put a proposal into the federal government to acquire some units to help us for this winter. And Council's also working on some interim solutions. We'll have more to say about that next week, about what we can do while we bring units online to give people an option to come off the street for this winter. So we're committed to finding shelter on an interim basis and dignified supportive housing for everyone who needs it as quickly as the other orders of government can bring their resources within their jurisdiction to bear. Well, I think it's time to look at the need for another temporary shelter as things get cooler, like we had set up at Kinsmen. And so we'll be continuing to work with city administration and the provincial government, which funded those temporary shelters in the spring, to set up some additional space to make sure that we can maintain ideally 2-meter distances between people, but certainly whatever the public health officials say is necessary. I think we need multiple sites in order to accommodate people and provide an intake for folks who are coming out of the camps and coming out of the River Valley as soon as we can find them a safe place. Well, I can't get into the legal niceties, but I mean the original campsite was vacated, so technically that's compliance with that. But clearly it shows that we're into the space of the absurd now, where the real answer is housing, not pushing the problem around, which notwithstanding all the success we've had housing 900 people since COVID started and close to 10,000 over the last decade, that really the gap is still sufficient housing for everyone who needs it. And that's why we're fighting so hard to get get a big chunk of that $1 billion out of Ottawa, to get more behind that and to make sure the province comes in with the supports necessary to make sure the housing is safe and effective and people stay housed in it. I went to Camp Pekawiwin a couple of weeks ago to meet with residents at the invitation of one of the elders down there, and heard from and agreed with people that housing is the most basic priority that needs to be met. And I understand that the city has also worked with our housing providers and agencies to make sure that anyone who wants referral to housing supports can get it. There's still not enough housing available for everybody, but I know some people have been housed, and the city has been successful at meeting some people's needs there where they were willing to take advantage of those services. But again, we need more units and more spaces to be able to accommodate everybody. Well, I was encouraged by some of the comments here today, but I can't speak for the province on this. I think I really can't speak for them, so ask her.